Thanks to GST 2.0, our GLA is now at 49 lakhs. Cars in India are actually cheaper compared to Germany, the cars we sell, because the price goes up because of the taxes.
2,500 cars sold in 9 days, which really works out to one car sold every 6 minutes this Navratri period, Santosh Iyer.
So if you are planning to buy the new S-Class, which will come end of next year, why wait? You get the current S-Class, and after 2 years, we upgrade you to the new S-Class. You just hand over the key, nothing else. So everyone burnt the midnight oil. We were up till 1 o'clock. Catering in every dealership was organized for deliveries till 1 a.m. so that when customers were taking cars, because 2,500 cars we have never ever done in 9 days. So we take a lot of pride to say that there is an India in every Mercedes sold in the world. More than 40 cars to be launched in next 2 years. Multiple powertrains, most of them electric as well.
All right, my guest of the day is somebody I meet once a year at the Autocar India Awards, which I've been emceeing for the last decade. And I always thought to myself, this is somebody I ought to have on the show. And as luck would have it, finally, after many, many years, and I have to thank our common friend Srini for making this happen, here he is on my show today. Please welcome Santosh Iyer, MD and CEO at Mercedes-Benz India. Santosh, wonderful to see you, and thank you for making the trudge from Pune to here.
My pleasure to be here, and to be honest, for almost a first time in a radio studio doing an interview. So
I am honored.
A special feeling.
I am honored. Very seldom do we have somebody making their radio debut here, so that's wonderful. I want to start with some personal and some professional bits. A Mumbai boy was really risen up the ranks to head the best luxury automotive brand in India. I know it's very difficult to sum up so many years, but just highlights of the journey, if you could give me that, that'll be wonderful.
I think you touched the right chord, the Mumbai boy. And in that sense, Mumbai taught me a lot of things, right from time. I still say to a lot of colleagues, a lot of people talk about German timing, right? Precision. Nowadays, of course, the German trains don't run on time as they used to be, like the Swiss trains. But Mumbai Railway, when I was living in the suburbs, going to colleges, you had a 7:53 local, and you had to catch the 53. So the value of time is what Mumbai taught me, and in that sense, the city shaped me in a lot of ways. My friends, my tryst with events. I was organizing many events for the societies, for the stuff, and that's how I started slowly getting into marketing and many areas. So I think the city offered me a lot. Even today, my friends are here, and yeah, that's integral part of my journey as well.
That's lovely. I'm going to get you to do an assessment of the luxury business overall in India. How are Indians taking to luxury cars? Is it only in the metros that we see the market for luxury goods? Do we see it going beyond to other cities? What are you seeing as a trend?
See, I don't categorize cities like tier 1, 2, 3 because it's not right in that sense because it's based on population, not on income. Today,
True.
if you see overall income is spread across in India. There is a lot of wealth even in other cities with lower population, and therefore we need to be mindful that yes, the majority of the wealth is in Mumbai, Delhi and metros, because also they are metros because of the size of the population. The growth is coming, and we see that there are two types of luxury buyers. One is a classical luxury dweller. Their families, they have been brought up into luxury. They have stayed maybe South Mumbai, for example, or in the South Delhi kinds, and they have a taste. They have been visiting. They have studied abroad. They are consuming luxury, and then there is the bigger growth coming from first time to luxury, and these are professionals, doctors or people working in corporates, chartered accountants, and also corporate India startups who are entering luxury. And again, here I bifurcate two kinds of people. One is upgrading from their current mass market cars, but the biggest change that you see or I see in the last 1 year is a lot of startup founders, a lot of youngsters straight coming into luxury. They are not buying any other car, and that also not an entry luxury. They are not buying a GLA. They straight go and end up buying a S-Class, for example, or even a GLS, and that's, I think, a very changing phase that you see, and that's also reflected in our average selling prices. A couple of years back, an average Mercedes-Benz used to be around 60 lakhs on an average. Today is more than a crore, so 40% increase in the last 3 to 4 years. So that shows the mix, the type of consumer profile is changing, and it's coming from not the luxury dweller. Of course, they are also buying expensive cars, but also from the first time luxury buyers.
That's fascinating that you would say they skip all the earlier ones, all the earlier steps or the models, and then they go for the highest end one. Also very interesting amongst Gen Z, they're not that interested in buying a house for posterity. They'd rather rent in high-end apartment complexes because they want to travel, not have the weight of the world on their shoulders paying EMIs, but they will buy a great car.
No, no, sure. A car and a watch you can take along with you. The house, maybe not.
well, well said. That's beautiful. For those of you who've just tuned in and those of you watching us on video, Santosh Iyer has been with Mercedes-Benz India since 2009 in various leadership roles. He has over 2 decades of diverse experience in the Indian automobile industry, spreading across sales, marketing, retail, customer service, and corporate affairs. And it's wonderful to have him here in studio. Now, got to talk about Mercedes-Benz now. You're leading from the front in defining automotive luxury in India. One thing is setting the standards. So how do you set the standards? And the other is how do you keep moving the benchmark upwards? Because it's not enough to just set the standard. It's like Usain Bolt says, each time you've got to move the benchmark up. And in that aspect, what expectations does the Indian automotive luxury customer have? Not easy to please him or her. And how do you go about delighting him or her?
So, I go back when I joined, I have worked in the automotive industry for close to 25 years with multiple brands. And when I joined Mercedes-Benz, I started meeting friends and people who love the brand. And one advice I got from, I would say, automotive journalists to our customers is they said, Santosh, let Mercedes be Mercedes. Don't try to, the core DNA of the brand is best or nothing, which also meant that when we invented the car, we had an option to sell many cars, sell in volumes, but we didn't do that. There was a company in the US which made one car, one color, black, and they said we sell in volumes. So we exited at that point, and our DNA is to make cars better and better. So even for India, I think the fundamental way we look at it is to give all possible content in the car. Of course, there is a regulated environment, so you cannot put everything but whatever is possible we bring in. So product is the starting point of what we try to do. The second is the experience bit, and here we change our retailing model. We have come to direct to consumer model where there are no stocks at our dealers. We hold all the inventory. A customer has a choice. There is no negotiation. The prices are standardized. Discounts are transparent. Stock is transparent, and we are the only automotive brand to do that. And because we said that if we continue the way other automotive companies operate, then there is no differentiation in luxury. In luxury, the customer should be given a transparent option and allow the customer the time to decide. The third pillar is personalization. A lot of work happening on individualization, trying to ensure that because a G63 customer wants his own interior combination, color, trims, and we need to enable that. So we have a manufacturer program where we are doing it, and so on and so forth. So I think fundamentally we need to, we are 30 years in India. We have realized that doing business in India and luxury understanding in India is a bit different than what you see in other parts of the world. Handcraftedness is valued, but not as valued in Europe. So you need to really educate the customer then more on technology, what goes in. And I think that's our responsibility also as a OEM who have got luxury to India. So it's been a great journey, but I think we will again set new benchmarks. That's what the customer expects. The only advice to my team is keep listening to customer, and we finally try to keep innovating as well.
Lovely. Santosh, the Mercedes-Benz India sales journey is remarkable, and we're going to come to that. But there are some very interesting findings from the inaugural Mercedes-Benz Hurun India Wealth Report. This is the 2025 Wealth Report, and it's also a luxury consumer survey. And this was released just last month.
Yep.
It shows that India's wealth creation is real, it's resilient. I'd like you to share a lot more insights about the report, whatever you can share in terms of deep diving into it.
No, sure. When Hurun and we were discussing, and Hurun came to us saying, hey, we are the authority for coming up with a rich list with the way the wealth is being created at the HNI segment, in the top end of the segment, and they have extensive research. So the discussion with Anis, who heads Hurun in India, was, hey, why can't we extrapolate this to Mercedes-Benz sales? And he said, why? I said, you have seen MAC index in the US, and in India, I think wealth is synonym with us. We have been here for 30 years, and if you see, we have sold more than 2 lakh cars. 1 lakh cars have been sold in the last 6 years. So 24 years for the first 6 lakhs, and next 6 years for the 24 years for the first 1 lakh car, and then the next 1 lakh got sold in 6 years. So you can clearly see, and when you extrapolate that with the per capita GDP, it used to be $1,450 in 2014. 2024 it's at 2550 odd per capita dollars per capita GDP. So clearly you can see a correlation. As the per capita GDP improves, our sales have doubled and it's going up, and therefore I think the wealth correlation, it's a very good index. And when we sat down and Harun did a extensive research, they could directly see a correlation between our sales and the wealth creation in India. So I think that was really heartening. But now we have a responsibility, because yes, we believe in the India story, and also we believe in our investments, and hopefully this correlation continues.
I want to just understand a little more about the parameters, the barometer. So, I mean, from what you say, it's established that according to the study, Mercedes-Benz India's sales journey is parallel to the expansion in India's millionaire households.
Yeah.
The report has that Mercedes-Benz Hurun India Index,
Yeah.
which actually measures the health of India's high net worth economy. So, what parameters does it take into account, Santosh? And would this be a very accurate barometer of India's wealth creation journey?
So, data is always, you can regress the data and look backward. So, all the backward, when we look at it, it is showing an absolute correlation. So, the index is, so we have given a 40% weightage to Mercedes-Benz car sales, another 20% to the GDP, the state GDP, the rich list in that and the growth of ultra HNIs in that city, for example, Mumbai or Maharashtra as a state. So, and also certain other socio-economic parameters have been added and given weightage. So, this index is clearly correlational to the growth of HNIs that we have seen. This year it's 8,71,000, that's what the report says. And this has been growing exponentially, and our sales as well as the overall car park of Mercedes-Benz reflects this growth. So, yes, if you do a prognosis backwards, it's all accurate. Now we have to see how every year on year this is able to correlate and move forward as well.
So, one is building consumer trust and the other is excelling their expectations. I want to understand how Mercedes-Benz India does it. And one is you've got to keep the existing customers engaged, but how do you keep the new customers engaging with the brand consistently? I mean, there's one thing which you've broken for good, which is people used to say it's the car or the brand that my dad would buy. But now youngsters and Gen Z think it's cool, and they're all gravitating towards buying their own Mercedes-Benz. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about engaging the new ones as well as the existing ones, the customers.
So, I think for existing ones, the starting point is a product itself. We are, first of all, and we are, our product requires service, one on the preventive side, and sometimes there are also challenges because it's an engineered product and you have customers facing challenges. But I think the bigger thing would be, how do you resolve them? How do you get back? How much are you open to, find solutions and get the customer car back on the road? It's beyond mobility for them. I have a friend coming, I want to pick him up in a Mercedes-Benz, but it cannot be. So we have things like Premier Express, 60-minute service, ensuring the car is given, a lot of courtesy car being given, but that's all at the foundational level. Then comes the experiences. So we also have curated experience in India and abroad, driving on ice, snow, to the G-Wagon experiences, to Formula One, to the Paddock Club experiences. So there again, to also to the classic car rally that we do in Mumbai with autocar assets. So a lot that we do is to ensure that customers are engaged. But coming to the Gen Z, because they are a bit more on digital side, they are also responsible a bit on the sustainability side, and third is they have a high affinity towards performance. This is where the AMG brand kicks in. A lot of AMG Driving Academy, a lot of events that we conduct here. We were also the first to get Driving Academy to the Booth circuit way back in 2013. So a lot of engagement with the youth on performance driving, also on sustainability initiatives. So it's a full package, I would say, and I think the products also do a lot of justice. So I should also give credit to my colleagues back in Stuttgart. I think the next generation cars, even the CLA that's coming, it's already making waves in Europe and will do the same in India as well.
I have to tell you that my wife and kids had to put up with a lot of bother, because when we went to Stuttgart, I said I have to go to the museum. It's as simple as that. Everything else, all the food, all the gardens, all the heritage sites can wait. I have to see the museum end to end, and it's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's a storytelling, architecturally
Beautiful.
done beautifully. How automotive influence history and how history influence automotive. I think that's something for any car lover. And I keep saying not because I work for Mercedes-Benz brand,
Yeah.
but I think for any lover of automotive, that's a mecca one has to visit and then get immersed there.
Absolutely, that's the word for it. I mean, if you're an automotive lover, that's really the place for it. And subsequently, the kids will also have fun. There's a lot of simulation stuff. Apart from the history, there's a lot of fun stuff to do. So, if you're ever thinking of a great place to visit when you're in Germany, it's the Mercedes-Benz Museum. Just side plug in there. But for those of you who've just tuned in on audio and watching us on video, before Santosh Iyer was elevated to the MD and CEO position in Mercedes-Benz in India. He had been Vice President Sales and Marketing. He successfully led Mercedes' digital transformation of the business, retaining the market leadership and establishing online sales. He demonstrated remarkable leadership in managing the business and steering it to a profitable growth during the pandemic, and he was pivotal in conceptualizing and implementing the quote-unquote retail of the future business model, which really now is an industry benchmark. So back to the questions. Now, the growth potential for Mercedes-Benz in India, what's going to take it to the next level, Santosh? What are the factors that are going to drive your sales in India now and in the future? And most importantly, what are you personally most excited by?
See, we are directly correlated to the growth in the economy, India's growth, and that we discussed about the Harun index and the
Yeah.
correlation there. So, first thing is, as India is now all set, and I would say all the ingredients are set for the growth, you can see, and this coming from the GST data, from the GDP growth. I think as India grows, aspirations grow, and we will participate in that. So, that's something that we have to be patient. On the other side, we have to be conscious. We are a luxury brand, and we should not do crazy things for growth, because if you do that, the residual value of the car may go down. We participate in price, we participate, and there, the one thing which I keep advising our colleagues and my team back in Pune is, we are just custodians of the brand. This brand has been built over 140 years. Our responsibility is right now we are taking care of it. We have to hand it over to the next generation at some point and to the next set of leaders, because and as long as a young boy is standing outside the glass window in my showroom and wanting to one day get into the car, our job is done. So we need to be highly focused there. And for that, we need not only products but also experiences, customer services, and many other things. But we would not chase volume. What keeps us excited is the new things that we keep trying to innovate for the market, be it in terms of products. As I said, we have the new CLA coming up. I think that would be a benchmark electric car. That has come. It has come with its own operating system, a lot of AI plugged into the car. So I think we will raise the bar, raise the standards significantly with that car, the way people look at electric cars itself. So that's something, of course, comes from the product side. But even our dealers, we are expanding. We are also focusing on people training. This is one way. India doesn't have a ready-made luxury trained skilled manpower, because you don't see those stores, right? When you go to airport, you don't see the kind of luxury stores that you see nowadays. It's coming up, that's positive, but you don't see that while in Europe, for example. So I think our responsibility as a leading and the most valuable luxury car brand would be to get these people trained and get the ecosystem developed. So that keeps us motivated, and yeah, that keeps us going.
All right, Santosh, let's talk about India's product mix as far as Mercedes-Benz is concerned. Now, there's no doubt it's been a remarkable market for your top-end vehicles. Now, what models come into this category? What's the reason for the exponential sales? If you could help us wrap our head around that. Also, the new Mercedes-Benz battery electric vehicles, they're grabbing everyone's attention. Do you see more EVs contributing to the lineup going ahead? And how are the mainstay sedans and SUVs also holding up?
So firstly, let me explain the three categories in luxury. You have the top-end vehicles. We call it, these are cars more than 1.3 crores plus. On-road price will be 1.5 crores more. GLS, S-Class, Maybachs, G-Wagons, these all form part of it. That's 1/4 of our sales are top-end vehicles. And it's growing. This quarter, we grew by more than 12% on that category. The second is the cars worth 60 lakhs to I would say 1.25 crores. This is the C class, the E class, the GLC, the GLEs, and that's called the core segment that forms close to 60% of our sales. And then we have the entry, which is coming with the A class and the GLA. Here, our share is hardly 10%. One of the reason is also it's an intensively price competitive segment. It's a lot of first-time buyers who come in, and we value them. Our strategy has been not to decontent the car. We ensure that the car has the right powertrain, the car has the right equipment, but we won't then come down significantly on the price because it's a value. Cars in India are actually cheaper compared to Germany, the cars we sell, because the price goes up because of the taxes.
Because of the
and now
taxes,
we
yeah.
cannot compromise that taxation by taking out equipment, and that's a fundamental DNA. So that's why maybe the entry luxury is not as exciting. But if you see now, thanks to GST 2.0, our GLA is now at 49 lakhs, and that's for the first time it has come sub 50. It's a great product, and I think super value proposition. So we are super confident that in the next 3 to 6 months, I think even in entry luxury you will see growth coming from Mercedes-Benz. Coming to the second question on your EV transition, because I think we were the first luxury brand to locally produce an EV. Even today we produce 2 EVs back in Chakan, the EQS SUV and the sedan. But again, we were not participating in entry luxury EVs. We somehow have CBU cars, EQA and EQBs, but not locally produced cars. Now, if you see, EVs is dependent on 3 stakeholders: the OEM with products, the government with taxation, and this includes not only the GST but even the road tax.
True.
And the third is the customer, because they need to be prepared to take this leap of faith. So in our view, we would leave it for the customer to decide. As Mercedes-Benz, we will have a car in gasoline, diesels and electric in every segment, and let the customer decide the pace of transformation. We want to drive sustainable mobility, decarbonize the segment, but I think we should not rush into this topic. I think the customer acceptance is also core, and it is all based on the price value equation. We have seen, for example, the G class in India, the G63 is worth 4.5 crores. The moment we get an electric G around 3.5, there's a lot of takers. And of course, some naysayers who say, no, I want an AMG, but there are enough and more people who want an electric G class as well. So let's allow the customers to decide. We have the entire portfolio and we won't push in a particular direction.
Well, many congratulations. I heard you had a phenomenal Dasera sales period. Yeah, 2,500 cars sold in 9 days, which really works out to 1 car sold every 6 minutes this Navratri period, Santosh Iyer. What would you attribute it to?
So, on one side, there is a bit of pent-up demand. When the Honorable Prime Minister announced on 15th of August, there was anticipation. After 4th of September, it was very clear that the prices are coming down. So, a lot of customers were waiting till 22nd to make the decision. Secondly, I think we also ran a campaign called the Dream Days. I think it's a very good iconic campaign. We had the steering wheel on the cover, as well as a lot of digital activation. But the core of the campaign is easy ownership. We are giving flexible payment options. For the first time, a lot of salaried customers, they actually get once a year bonus. So we said, why can't an EMI be higher in April and rest of the months be lower? We have something called key to key. So if you are planning to buy the new S class, which will come end of next year, why wait? You get the current S class, and after 2 years we upgrade you to the new S class. You just hand over the key, nothing else. So innovative financial solutions, I think that's helping us to also grow and bring. So financial solutions, the Dream Days campaign, GST 2.0, and I should really thank the customers and our franchisee dealer partners to really present the brand and get these unbelievable numbers. Everyone burnt the midnight oil. We were up till 1 o'clock. Catering in every dealership was organized for deliveries till 1 a.m. so that when customers were taking cars, because 2,500 cars we had never ever done in 9 days. But I think that's something I take a lot of pride of our team back in Chakan, back at our franchisee partners as well. Great job done by them, and I think the results are for all to see.
So going by Dasera sales, is Diwali also something you're looking forward to, Santosh, the festive season? Is there anything special for customers and fans also to look forward to Mercedes-Benz India this festive season in terms of schemes, finances, launches, etc.?
So the Dream Days campaign continues in October, but we have a different challenge in terms of availability of cars now. Suddenly we have more than 2,500 cars sold. So right color mix and fuel mix, that's becoming a bit challenging. But the good news is we have a good order bank, close to 2,000 odd orders in the system. So I think we should have a good Dashera, Dhanteras and Diwali. Also up north in India you have marriage season actually following in. So in that sense, fundamentally the macroeconomic parameters look positive. We should be able to participate in this. But yes, luxury is a sentiment-driven demand. So with what's happening around us, geopolitics, tomorrow morning, I cannot predict the future.
True.
But if I speak as of today, I think it should be a good festive season.
Now I'm going to look at individual models that have done very well thus far. Now it's been a spectacular array of launches this year, Santosh. CLE 53 AMG, EQS Celebrations Edition, the G580, the Maybach SL680, the AMG GT63, 63 Pro, even the Made for India G63 Collector's Edition. How have the markets taken to all these models? Some of them were sold out even before you could launch them here. And since you're looking at, I presume, record sales in 2025, which are the ones they're going for?
So all the 8 cars that we have launched this year are all in the top end segment. So it's not that they were volume drivers, but they are definitely excite the market. They are also in the top end of the spectrum. So I think that's great. We were intending to introduce the CLA this year, but it won't happen. Again, a global demand. By the time we get the car to India, it should be early next year. So and in that sense, I think products have played a role in expanding the market, at least in the top end segment. When you talk about core, we have the new E-Class, which I think is again the largest selling luxury sedan in the entire segment as such, and also for us. I go back to that story also. You asked SUV versus sedans. There is of course a big craze for SUVs, a part attributed to the road conditions, part attributed to the cultural thinking that I want a big car, the value for money kind of a thinking. But still, E-Class proves that right product, a sedan, is the largest selling car in the luxury segment. So I think if you have the right product and it can meet the use cases of roads as well, because a comfortable drive, customers can shift also body style and preferences.
Now, performance enthusiasts around the world and in India swear by the AMG range of Mercedes-Benz models. The AMG brand adorns some of the most powerful, the most beautiful and sensational cars in the world. How do you satisfy Indian AMG enthusiasts' hunger for the brand? How do you make them feel special? And I believe Indian AMG buyers are among the youngest in the world. Is that true? Yeah.
No, sure. I think we are blessed, and I won't say blessed as well as lucky that we have a brand which on one side we have Maybachs, the super luxury quotient. Then on the other side, I have a performance brand like the AMG, which is hardcore performance. George Russell was on the podium with a Formula One Mercedes Petronas car in Singapore last weekend. So clearly, we have been leading this technology, and that's the same track technology which comes. Our entire maxim is we race on Sunday, sell on Monday. That's where AMG comes in. In India, we started with the Gullwing, the iconic SLS, and later on we have been introducing this year. We spoke about the CLE 53 AMGs and so on and so forth. But one big thing we have done after GST 2.0, the price points of AMGs have changed. Today, a GLC 43 is available for the first time below 1 crore. A GLE 53 is available for 1.4. These are absolutely fantastic price points to own an AMG. And I think thanks to the GST, thanks to also the internal calibration we have done to get more customers drive performance cars in India. And the roads are also, some stretches at least I can say, not the city roads, but at least I keep traveling Mumbai to Pune. I think there are good enough roads to enjoy these cars as well.
Well, for those of you who've just tuned in and also watching us on video, Santosh Iyer is currently MD and CEO at Mercedes-Benz India, but just looking back at his extensive career, there was a time between 2016 and 2019, he headed the customer services, corporate affairs and CSR functions at Mercedes-Benz India. He played an important role in the turnaround of the customer services business with the successful setting up of new initiatives like MB Tires, parts trading, and the Mercedes-Benz Academy. He also drove service differentiator as the key parameter towards achieving service excellence and customer loyalty. So fab stuff there, and we're having an engaging morning asking him these questions, which he's very quick on the uptake to answer. Now let's talk about the unparalleled heritage in India. I mean, you've had your presence in India for over a quarter of a century now. In time, it's grown from strength to strength. How do today's customers relate to the brand's powerful Indian legacy? And how do you celebrate that? After all, I mean, we're talking engineering, luxury, craftsmanship, design for over 130 years. Are there, for example, Mercedes-Benz families in India?
No, no, a lot. I would say that I can give a recent example. I just met I won't say a colleague, a senior guy working for one of the largest multinationals, and I just met him, and he's just buying, in fact, a Mercedes Benz. He said his uncle, he is one of the big ophthalmologists, and he buys a Mercedes Benz every 2 years on his grandfather's birthday, because his grandfather always loved the Mercedes Benz. So every 2 years on the same birthday they buy. So there are a lot of stories. I had 3 years back, we had the GLE at a very short supply. I had a guy who sent me a lot of WhatsApp with medical reports from Hinduja Hospital. And then I was reading through it, and then I got the call from the same WhatsApp number saying, Santosh, I am ABC, and you must have seen the medical report. These are of my dad. My dad's dream was someday I get into a Mercedes Benz, and for him, success is I driving a Mercedes Benz. He's getting discharged. Last few days, I want to take him home in a Mercedes Benz. I had tears in my eyes. I said, we have to make it happen. So I think the brand is very much glued to India in a very different way. The connect is there. And as I said, I keep telling the team, we are just custodians of this brand. Do the right things, ensure the star keeps shining, keep the customers happy. And I think this legacy will continue. The story has just started. We should not feel the 140 years or close to 140 years has happened. And in India, I think, we came in 94. And when we came in, we had this 124. That's a car that we launched. I am quite happy and proud to say that this car, the price at what we sold in 94, today that you can get much more price for that car if you go to the market. So that also shows the residual value of a Mercedes-Benz. Even after 30 years, you can get much more money for this car, and even the G63s or others. So I think a lot of love for the brand, and really thankful to customers in India for that love. I think that's a big legacy, and also for us as brand custodians, big shoes to fill, big responsibility to ensure that we live up to those expectations as well.
Okay, let's talk about some social and cultural initiatives. A couple of times in this chat thus far, you mentioned your plant in Chakan near Pune. What initiatives do you take to make it a sustainable workspace, Santosh? What activities do you undertake to give back to society and to areas near Chakan and Pune?
So it's a wide things that we do. To start with our own home, the plant. We are a completely green factory. We have solar panels on the rooftop, and every single car produced in India is from green energy. So sustainable. Even the food waste in our canteen, I have organic biogas plants which process the food waste, and that's used as the fuel for the cooking in the plant itself. So recyclability is again core to it. If you talk about communities in and around Chakan, a lot of we have ensured water conservation, schools. Even during COVID times, we built hospitals overnight actually to support the government. But let me tell an interesting case. What we are doing, the Mumbai Samruddhi Mahamarg, it is considered to be a great expressway, but also not so safe with a lot of road accidents. So we partnered with the government along with Save Life Foundation, and we have taken a target that in 3 years, year on year, we will reduce road accidents and fatalities by 20%. So a target-based approach. Now, how do we do it? We give our engineering skills. We work with the foundation to see which are those areas where we can change, put signages and also speed indicators. But what we do is all our cars are connected. We get anonymous data from the car in terms of braking. So this entire section, wherever Mercedes-Benz is playing between the Samruddhi Mahamarg, we have been able to identify the hotspots where the cars are braking much more. And those red hotspots now we are taking up to see that these are the corridors where we should now do certain changes in the engineering or in signages or in certain things else. So we are bringing the technology from the car, the detection of potholes, the detection of braking into saving lives. And that's again a big CSR initiative that we are doing and with a real target based approach. Now we have also adopted the Nizamabad Hyderabad corridor, and we will do even more. So just couple of examples on what we are doing when it comes to social responsibility as well.
Super stuff. Now, it's obvious that your philosophy as CEO and MD is customer centricity. You've talked about putting the customer first. Now, all your study about the Indian Mercedes-Benz customer, I want to know about their evolution. What is the those unique characteristics that set the Indian Mercedes-Benz customer apart from anywhere in the world?
I think the demand for value for money, the expectation, I can say that the maximum number of customer mails coming to a CEO office anywhere in the world will be in India. They demand the best because they deserve the best to start with. But at the same time, a lot of my colleagues ask me why the customers demand. I said the brand promise is huge, and they feel that we need to be answerable to them. I think that's one big change. The second, of course, is the ownership periods in India. Today you own a Mercedes-Benz, and when you want to buy the second one, of course some of them trade in the car, but many of them give this to their spouses or to their kids or to their parents. So buying a used Mercedes-Benz is a challenge in India because there are not many cars available. It pushes up the residual value, whereas if you look in a European environment, 2-3 years you keep changing, leasing. I would not say there is a human emotion with the car, whereas Indian customers are much more emotive when it comes to the brand and their car as well.
Santosh Iyer is MD CEO at Mercedes-Benz India, and we always like to look back at our illustrious guests' careers. He started his career, interestingly, with Avery India Limited. Then his entrepreneurial ambitions took him to Nepal for distribution and servicing of capital equipment, while also supporting the automotive business. He set up a successful business there, and then he decided to move back to India, staying with the automotive segment. He joined Yamaha Motors India, and subsequently had various management stints across Indian subsidiaries of automotive MNCs like Toyota, Ford, before joining Mercedes-Benz India. So a very eventful career, something we're drawing from in this interview today. All right, so we've talked about the E-Class being the launch in the late 1990s and how it's still such a craze. I want to understand where we are vis-a-vis Stuttgart. Let me make that plain speak for everybody who's listening or watching. What is India's role in global Mercedes-Benz operations, Santosh? We're one of the few countries that assemble select models. What makes our India operations so special, and how does the Mercedes-Benz headquarters in Stuttgart, that's what I mean, how do they look at Indian operations?
So firstly, India has a lot of first to its credit. If I look at Mercedes-Benz India, let me talk about production first. The flexibility that we are able to do. We are able to make an EV and a combustion engine from the same line. We are able to make a Maybach and an A-Class on the same line. So when there was Factory 56, which is our flagship factory back in Stuttgart, was being designed, they actually draw inspiration from India, saying, hey, these guys are able to have so much of flexibility in a one plant. But generally manufacturing plants are for 1 or 2, 3 car lines, not for 11. And I think that's something that we take pride of. When you talk about sales, the retail of the future, which is we take a lot of pride in, we started piloting in India along with one or the other market, but it was so successful that it then went into Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, even Germany now today has shifted already to retail of the future and more markets going in. But that's one part of the story. The second business that we run in India is a financial services business, close to 13,000 crores in portfolio and quite successful as well in India. But the third biggest one where India plays a big role is our R&D setup in Bangalore. We have more than 10,000 engineers working, and there are more than 500 patents filed in India for Mercedes-Benz by those engineers. So it's not back-end work, it's real hardcore engineering, simulation, AI, ML work, a lot of work on the MBOS happening out of India. So we take a lot of pride to say that there is an India in every Mercedes sold in the world. And that's a big thing and a big statement for India. So it's just not sales or numbers. It's a lot of such best practices, a lot of engineering knowledge, and a lot of things that we are able to export back to Stuttgart as well. So India is a market close to, I would say, my colleagues' heart in Stuttgart always.
Now, this is the most difficult question in the interview. I'm joking. Which Mercedes-Benz models are Santosh Iyer's personal favorites?
Wow.
And why? And why?
Yeah, so I have been working for multiple brands, and I always fascinated with the C63 AMG as my car. I always thought, and even when I retire, I said that's a car I will finally, because we have an option to select a car before retirement, and I said C63 is the car that I should go in, and I still stick by it. But 2 weeks back, personally not a big fan of G, but 2 weeks back we took a bit friends from the media to Graz, which is the home of G, and there I spent close to 48 hours, and in the last 3 hours, by the time we concluded the session, my perception of G and the capability changed, and then slowly there is inner Santosh telling me from C63 to G63, maybe that's the transition I need to do. I'm not yet decided, but I think for what I experienced in Graz, the heart really is pulling me now towards the G.
Wonderful. You were kind enough to tell us that the all-new CLA is just around the corner. You said early next year, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah. But what are the upcoming models that fans of the brand are looking forward to? Let's talk about that. Yeah.
I think for us, we have crunched the lead time of introducing Mercedes-Benz cars to the market. So the moment there is a global launch and an introduction, within 6 to 9 months, we are able to bring this to India. So I think that's been a constant exercise. The new E-Class is an example. Last year, global launch, February, March, April sales, and by October, we were able to get this car to India. So we will always follow the global launches, and every car, most of them which are launched, we will get into India. So that's a commitment. CLA being, of course, the most awaited one. But Mercedes-Benz right now is in the phase of the biggest ever launch program in its history. More than 40 cars to be launched in next 2 years. Multiple powertrains, most of them electric as well. Fascinating cars, and the best part of my job is I've driven some of them, I've seen some of them, get goosebumps. I think the future is even much more exciting. So for sure, many of them will make its way to India as well.
Super stuff. MD CEO of Mercedes-Benz India, Santosh Iyer, in the house. Just to let you know what he was doing as a student, a graduate in commerce from Mumbai University. He holds an MBA from the University of Indianapolis and a master's in corporate governance and compliance from the University of Lake Constance in Germany. A few lifestyle questions before we wrap. That's why I brought up your education. I wonder if while you were studying, you saw a very interesting music concert, you went to a gig, or more recently in your working years, I mean, a music concert, an artist that you saw that you really found fascinating.
Last year, in fact, I'm a big fan of Brian Adams, Summer of '69. And last year he was in Delhi. He was, I think, doing an India tour. He was in Delhi, and a friend of mine called me saying, "Hey, I have some passes. Can you come in?" I was not even prepared because I usually am in my suits and stuff when I travel to Delhi. So I went to the shops quickly, got some, because I cannot go in a suit to a music concert, and that was the most recent one that I saw. But already as I turn maybe 50 next year, just a revelation, with my friends we are planning to go to Ibiza. So that's one more thing on the bucket list to tick off, but hopefully we make it next year.
Ibiza, where it all rocks all through the night in Spain. But that's interesting. I mean, it's remarkable. 62 years old, Brian Adams. He has the energy of a spring chicken. He could have been a teenager,
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see the energy and actually the same level of what we have grown up actually, hearing his songs and stuff. Yeah.
All right, a travel destination that you went to and you said, "Wow, this is amazing. I wish I could be here more."
Wow. Every year nowadays I go to some destination. India I have traveled a lot, by car. I drive a lot within India, abroad as well, to Europe many a time, studied there. I was in the US this year. But to be very honest, I'm from Kerala, and I have my ancestral house there, which is still
I was
kept.
going to ask you whether you're a Tamil Iyer or a Malayali Iyer.
I am Tamil Iyer as such, and coming from Thrissur, and I have a small house there wherein I was born there, and a lot of sentiments attached to that small house. So at some point I would, if you give me a chance, I will just go there. I love to also go. I have a spiritual side, going to the temples there and to just get some solace, and I love it actually. So that's something calls me. So any part of the world, I have been to the most exotic places, continue to go, but my hometown, small house back in Kerala, something it draws me back as a connection. So I think I still feel that's great.
I'm just curious to know, I mean, you obviously have to go to Germany often. And, that is the headquarters, the HQs. What do you like to eat in Germany? Are you a sauerkraut sausages kind of guy or vegetarian?
No, there's Spätzle, which I love actually, and I think, and of course the beer. There is no doubt about it.
You don't show it an inch. You're so lean. It's wonderful. I could drink water and put on weight. That's my metabolism. That's wonderful. And music that you're into apart from Brian Adams? What do you like listening to?
Nothing casual, actually. It's not on my playlist to find everything. And nowadays, I give access to my kids as well. So their playlist also comes in and then I hear, but I enjoy all good
So
songs.
what are they listening to? Taylor Swift?
They,
What are their ages?
well, I have 3 kids. A daughter, she's 15, and twin boys, they turned 11 just last week.
I'm sure the 15-year-old is a Swiftie listening to Taylor Swift. I don't know what the boys are into right now.
They have their own playlist. They keep changing, and yeah.
Wonderful. Santosh Iyer is MD and CEO at Mercedes-Benz India. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. Time has just whisked by. I know you have to drive back to Pune, so I'm not going to hold you any further. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for having me. It's
Cheers.
my pleasure as well.
Cheers.
Thank you.
One world, your station.